I'll take up an interesting concept of C frame, that is center of mass frame. And it is very useful for solving certain problems. Suppose you are given this problem of two masses connected by a spring. This is mass m1, this is mass m2. Some velocity v2 is given to mass m2 at time t is equal to 0. And we have to find the maximum extension of the spring. You must have done this problem. But using this concept of center of mass and the formula, which I will somewhere in the lecture I'll introduce, that formula is very, very useful. With that, this problem becomes relatively easier to solve. And other complex problems also you can solve. You can apply this concept in solving that interesting problem of Irodov, where one of the mass is given perpendicular velocity v1, this is m1, this is m2. We have to find what is the, say it will start moving as v1 dash and v2 dash, something like this. Let me take a general form. What will be the maximum extension in the spring if you are asked to find that? In such cases, be very careful. Just don't find extension on the spring on the basis of the centrifugal force. Don't do the mistake of finding the extension of the spring by taking the centrifugal force. Because here, the force which is acting on it is stretching the spring, then the spring comes back. So it is kind of oscillation. It is like when a mass is attached to a spring suddenly and it moves like this. So there is only one equilibrium position. All positions are not equilibrium positions. So never equate in such problems the centrifugal force to find out the extension. If it is tangential, that difficult problem of Irodov, I think it is 199 or something like that. But in fundamental law of mechanics, an easier problem is given. Two masses connected, m1, m2 say. One of them is given a velocity v1. We have to find what is the total mechanical energy of this system in C frame, center of mass frame. So unless you know the center of mass frame and the concept and the formula derivation, you can't solve that also. Now let us come to the basics. So these masses are there, and let there be n masses, and let me write a general Ri is for the Mi. So R1 for M1, R2 for M2, Ri is for Mi, and there be n masses. Like any system, there is a center of mass. Like this book will have a center of mass. Suppose there are particles instead of the book, it will have some place where the center of inertia lies or the center of mass lies. So that thing is R center of mass. Let me write it like that. This sound which you heard was of a plastic bottle. I was doing some experiment with the bottles. Now let me say that this center of mass of these masses lie at some point which is R center of mass. And let me now fix a frame to this. And this is my center of mass frame, and it is a closed system. Means there is no external force on this system of masses. So point we should note, which will also come in the course of lecture, before I forget, let me mention that if it is a closed system, if there is no external force acting on the system, if the center of mass is initially at rest, it will remain at rest. If the center of mass is moving with certain velocity, it will move with that constant velocity. So center of mass has a constant velocity if it was moving at all at the first place. So it continues to move with the same velocity. If it is a closed system, means there is no external force which is acting on it. There can be internal forces. These masses may be connected to each other, or there may be spring or many other things, or they may be having some charges attracting to each other. But as a sum total, the system which I have taken, there is no external force acting on it. You can recall there is a problem in Kroto where two masses, they are thrown like a projectile, and there is charge on those masses. They either attract or repel. I am not recollecting the problem. So they are thrown from certain height, maybe thrown horizontally like this. So we have to find, when the first mass hits the ground, what is the distance of the second mass from the ground. So there you have to apply the concept of center of mass, because the gravity will act not only on each mass, which will also act on the center of mass. So there the center of mass moves with acceleration. So you can try that problem anyway. So center of mass here in our case will not have any acceleration. Either it will be at rest or it will move at constant velocity. Now what is the value of center of mass? So our center of mass is m1 r1 plus m2 r2 up to mn rn upon m1 plus m2 up to mn, and let me write it as sigma mi ri upon sigma mi, and I is from 1 to, it is going from 1 to n. That is the value of I. So m1 to mn. So this is my R center of mass. I can replace, let me replace sigma mi by total mass of the system, where m is equal to m1 plus m2 plus m3. So m R center of mass is sigma mi ri. So m1 is multiplied by each r1. Don't write such equations as mi sigma ri. No, it is wrong. Here it is mi ri. Had it been m total m into ri, then you could have taken m out of this sigma. Otherwise, if it is variable with r, mass is not constant. It is varying with, means though each mass is constant, but in this equation mass is linked to the distance. So here in such formulas, don't take this out of the sigma. So this is my one equation. Now if I differentiate both the sides, I get m r center of mass differentiation d upon dt is sigma mi d upon dri upon dt. So what is dri upon dt? Dri upon dt is vi, which is the velocity of each particle in vector form in the K frame. So I can write it as sigma mi vi. Vi is velocity of that particle in K frame. And what is d upon dt? R center of mass is nothing but velocity of center of mass. So m v center of mass is sigma mi vi. That is one equation we have got. In fact, it is this equation which we'll be using later on. Now let me introduce, now I have got a C frame. This C frame is moving with the velocity of v center of mass. A person is standing in K frame and a person is standing in C frame. The person standing in C frame measures the velocity of each particle as per his, what he sees. He is fixed to the C frame. He is fixed to the K frame. So he sees what is there, what is actual, that is Vi, V1, V2, V3. But he will see Vi dash. Let me write as general formula Vi dash, means V1 dash. If I draw the parallel, V1, V2, V3 to Vn are in K frame, and V1 dash, V2 dash, V3 dash, Vn dash are in C frame. And these are the velocities of different particles, and mass is mi, m1, m2, m3 and mn. So this is the table, you can just keep in mind, not required otherwise. So I can write, how do I write now, what is the value of v1 dash? v1 dash will be equal to velocity of the mass 1 in C frame will be equal to its actual velocity or the velocity in K frame minus VCM, because it is nothing but the relative velocity. Velocity relative to this center of mass. Center of mass is moving with VCM. So my velocity in center of mass is nothing but the relative velocity to center of mass. So I write the general formula Vi dash is equal to Vi minus VCM, or I can write Vi is equal to Vi dash plus VCM. Now let me try to write what is the kinetic energy in K frame and what is the kinetic energy in C frame. A person standing here and a person standing here will see the kinetic energy in terms of the velocities he sees. So kinetic energy in K frame, So let me write kinetic energy, and let me write it in both K frame and C frame. K frame I will write as T, and C frame I will write as T dash. So it is nothing but m1 v1 square upon 2 plus m2 v2 square upon 2, likewise mn vn square upon 2, and here it is m1 v1 dash square upon 2 plus m2 v2 dash square upon 2 mn vn dash square upon 2. So I write T as mi vi square upon 2 sigma. That is the general expression. This is how it is coming. And T dash as sigma mi vi dash square upon 2. This is another equation which I have got, and one equation is this. Let me put the value of this vi in this equation. Here I got mvcm is equal to sigma mi. What is vi? Is vi dash plus vcm. Here I can open the bracket. I can write as mvcm is equal to sigma mi vi dash plus sigma mi vcm. Vcm is constant, so I can bring vcm here. What is sigma mi? Is nothing but total mass. These two gets cancelled. So very interesting result. Mi vi dash is always 0 in a closed system. Means sum of the momentums in the C frame. Momentum not in the K frame. Momentum as measured in C frame is always 0 if there is no external force acting on it. So very important result has come is sigma mi vi dash is 0. Now go back to this equation again. T is equal to sigma mi. What is vi? Vi is nothing but vi dash plus vcm whole square upon 2. Let me expand it. It comes as sigma mi upon 2 vi dash square. Let me rub it. Plus sigma mi upon 2 vcm whole square plus twice upon twice mi vi vcm sigma. Sigma I write here, 2 by 2 is cancelled. So this is the relationship I have got, and I can take vcm out. Vcm is constant, sigma mi. This is vi dash because it is vi dash. Now this sigma mi vi dash is interestingly 0. So this term vanishes. Now I got a very interesting result. So this is the equation which I was looking for. Total kinetic energy in K frame. This is in K frame. T I am writing in K frame and T dash in C frame is equal to T dash, which is in C frame, plus V center of mass square upon 2 into sigma mi is nothing but m. V center of mass square is constant, I have taken out. What is V center of mass? V center of mass is sum of mi vi, which is what? Is the momentum. Momentum of the system of particle in K frame, and there is no external force acting on it. So momentum in K frame remains constant. So m vcm is nothing but the total momentum in K frame. So V center of mass is total momentum in K frame upon m, and this P always remains constant in these problems until you have external force. If there is external force, then P will not be constant. But if there is no external force, and I say some velocity is given to some mass connected to the spring, whatever was the velocity given to that mass, its momentum becomes m into v. Other mass was not given any velocity, so m into v is my initial momentum, and that remains constant throughout. So P remains constant. So if I put the value of V center of mass here, it becomes p square upon m square, or m square, or I can replace this m and it becomes p square upon twice m. This is a very, very important relationship. Kinetic energy in K frame is equal to kinetic energy in C frame plus the square of momentum in K frame, which remains constant, upon total mass. Now let us look at this problem. The problem which is in fundamental law of mechanics. The other problem which is there in Erudov problems, that is much more lengthier, I can't cover in this lecture, because this problem is much simpler and short. m1, m2, velocity is given as v1. We have to find what is the total mechanical energy of the system in C frame. Now this is the kinetic energy of the system in K frame, C frame, linked like this. And by analogy, total mechanical energy is also written like this. E in K frame is E in C frame plus P square upon twice M. The difference gives the other, whether it is spring energy or other potential energy. So total energy becomes like this. This is the formula. Now what is the energy we have to find in center of mass frame? What is the energy, total energy in K frame? Total energy in K frame is half m1 v1 square is the total energy in K frame. That is the initial velocity was given to it as v1. So just write m1 v1 square upon 2. We have to find energy, total mechanical energy in C frame. And what is the value of P? Value of P is m1 v1. So it is m1 square v1 square upon twice, don't write m1 plus m2. That is the total mass. And in this problem, if m1 is equal to m2, it becomes m1 square upon 4 times m square upon 4 times m. So it becomes mv1 square upon 4. This is also m. So EC is mv square upon, this is v, all v I write simply, upon 2 minus mv square upon 4. So it is mv square upon 4. You will say where the energy has gone. This is the energy in mechanical energy in the center of mass frame. But center of mass itself is carrying some energy. So the total energy is in K frame is mechanical energy in the center of mass frame plus this. Then it becomes the total energy. So don't get confused. It is not the total energy. It is the total mechanical energy in the center of mass frame. And it can be stored in terms of mechanical energy or the velocities of the two particles, depends what is the position of the spring. So that detailed analysis is there in some other problem. So here a limited point was to cover this equation.